Okay, so lots of goodies. All right, so like here's the art. First, I'm gonna give you my first impression of these, which is the Neocolor 2 Aquarelle from Switzerland. They're water-soluble wax pastels. I saw a lot of reviews on these actually, and it seemed like most people that were using them were crafters rather than professional artists. I also have these Derwent Watercolors and this amazing set of fine art pencils sent to me by Derwent. This is the Inktense set. So I have some of the pencils pulled out that I've been using, and this is such an incredible set. Really, like as far as first impressions, right off the bat, if you like watercolor kind of pencils, I have them. These are the ones that I'm currently working with right now. So I have them in this little canvas case, and yeah, they are incredible. They're really, really beautiful. So first impressions between these three, fine artists definitely go with the Inktense. There's nothing like them. They are amazing. They're also permanent, and that's a lot of the art that you see me working with. They're not really textured, although I can say I swatched them out on this last sketchbook piece that I did. So like up here is the Inktense pencils, so you can see if you press really hard, you can actually get some texture on them, which is pretty cool. Compared to the watercolors, and these are Mission Gold watercolors. I think these are really beautiful too, but like you see the similarity, right? The Inktense, but these don't go anywhere. Like you can lift the color and change the colors here and dilute these, but you can't really do that. And you can also paint on fabric with these. So this was what I worked on with a mixture of the pencils. If you guys saw the video, it was like I did the pencils first and then I added water. So you just have that really beautiful just white piece, and then I added watercolor over them, and this is what I got. So the texture, it's like a beautiful fine watercolor. So if you look really, really close, you get all of the qualities of watercolors, and that's what I love about it. I also swatched some back here, and you can see compared to the Mission Gold, the watercolors are really intense right off the bat, but when you swatch the Inktense pencils, you can get some really beautiful, like really, really pretty watercolor effects by adding water and just diluting it out just a little bit. So you can see like how you dilute the watercolor and it can really go to nothing, right? It's a different pastel. This is a much more vibrant look, and that's why I really love the Inktense, because I mean, come on, you can like even mix them. Like I basically swatch this, swatch this, swatch this, and compared to here where I pressed really hard and got some granulation, I did it really smoothly and just got like a really nice, beautiful wash of color. And then I picked up my brush and I just put the blue and the yellow together, and it made the green. It like manufactured this green. And then I found a green that was really similar to it, and I swatched that too. So it was like really pretty. So you can see initially the difference between these, and now let's talk a little bit about this that I just got sent. So these are the Neocolor 2, and what this is Caran D'ache designed these beautiful pencils, or they're water-soluble wax pastels. So they're for wet and dry, and it comes in a great tin. It's a beautiful set, but here's the thing, like these are super expensive, like really expensive, and I just don't kind of get it, because I get that there's nothing else like this on the market. I get that they are artist grade. However, artists don't seem to really be using them. Mostly crafters are using them because they are crayons. So like there's a real heavy wax feel to these, and I kind of tried different things. Now I was able to get a pretty cool, interesting piece that you guys might have seen, and this is it. And this is what I painted using these. So basically I was able to get gradient effects. I was able to, the white is not their white, by the way. It does not work like that. I tried to add their white pencil, and it goes to nothing. It just blends in and turns into nothing. So the white doesn't work for me. I actually had to use white ink for that, so I wouldn't destroy it. But with that being said, it was pretty cool if you can get in the lines and then use a really fine tip brush and add some water to it, you can kind of get some gradation, but still you have this wax, this like waxy buildup that you really can't paint over, and it's kind of stuck there forever. And that's the only thing I don't like about it. There's like this waxy shine, and there's this feeling like you're just using crayons, I have to say. So like this box here is over $100 for these crayons, and they do break. They're very good quality, really good quality, but as an artist, I don't think I would ever have a use for them. And I think that's why you don't really see a lot of artists using them. You see a lot of crafters using them, or people using them in adult coloring books. But still, I think for what they are, these should probably, in my opinion, be more of like a $50 purchase for this many, because I just don't think they line up to, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't happen to think they line up. I think I would rather use like the Sennellier oil pastels, which are beautiful and around the same price, I think. And then I would also rather use the Inktense pencils. So like literally I was reaching for the Inktense pencils when I was adding pencil work to my stuff. One, because you can sharpen them to a really fine point. Another thing, I can literally use the brush on the Inktense pencil just like this. I'm gonna draw something really quick for you guys so that you can just get a feel. So let's take a blue from this set, and we're gonna take a blue, I don't know if these are the same color, they're kind of close, aquamarine, from this set, and we're gonna swatch them so that you guys can see exactly what this looks like. Okay, I have to do this backwards. This is so funny. All right, so this is the Neo 2. So you see, it's clearly, you can't get a fine point, so you kind of have to use it. They do break in half and stuff, but if I were gonna like use it, I'd have to go really, really light to not get a lot of the granulation and the wax buildup. But in order to get the color, you have to go really, really, really heavy. So literally, I have to sit there and really build up the color, build, build, build. And this is where a lot of people break their pencils. But again, there are some really cool tricks you can do with this. And if you like the feel of a wax crayon, then cool, that's awesome. I still would rather use it like a Sennellier oil pastel, or a pencil, you know, like an Inktense pencil. I think the quality is like so much better. And as far as like the set, yeah, I just think for me, that's just my first impression of this. So here's my Inktense Derwent pencil, and I can go really light and get a very similar effect, but wait till you see the brilliancy and the way that these swatch out. And then if I want to go really dark, we're going to go really dark on here. And there you go. All right, we're still here. So that's what I have so far. So let's add some water, and we're gonna see how this goes. I have to do this here so you guys can see it. Okay, so let me see. This is the Neo 2. All right, so we're gonna go over the light one. This is where I very lightly did it, and I'm gonna see if I can actually blend this out where you don't see the lines, because you don't, I mean, if you want to do this, you don't want always there to be lines and texture. You want to be able to erase that when you add the water. And I noticed that it's really very streaky, so you can't get a real even effect with it. And wherever I go over more than once, you can see where it just starts to lighten up and it almost like disappears. Okay, so that's what really goes on with those. So it's impossible to get the intensity, right? So like then even here where I did it really, really heavy, I can get a more intense color. Hang on, I need my cloth so I can wipe the color off. So I can get a more intense color, and certainly I can carry this color over here and add it, right? So on a second pass, I am able to get a little more spread, and that's really, really good. So I add a lot of water, so it's giving me a lot more intensity. So in other words, if you use it really, really rough and you get a lot more color buildup, then you can now start to use it. Now, the thing is it worth it? Because you go through a lot of trouble and a lot of activation work, and still, if you look close, you still can see a lot of the granulation and the lines, and they're kind of impressed into the paper, so they're not really ever going to go away. I've already disturbed the surface of the paper, so I'm going to be limited, and there's a wax buildup on this a little bit. So the thing is that, you know, can't get rid of. They're crayons. They're crayons. So now let's go over the little lines and see what the lines do. So now I'm just going to go over the lines, and again, I get some color. It's very, very light. Let's try and pick it up. When I pick up the color off the page, it goes to almost nothing. And the lines are still there. Okay, so now let's do the Derwent Inktense Pencils. So we're going to go over the first one, which is, this is the light version of their lines. The color's a lot more bold right off the bat and you could do a lot more with it, and the lines disappear. Not to mention the color, it really doesn't dilute, and it's permanent ink. So you could use this on fabric, you can paint anything with it. So that is how just those light lines actually come out, right? It's beautiful. And then if we do the darker part where I really use some pressure, you can see how bold the color is. And like, look, compared to the other one, this is the boldest that crayon will get, but yet the Inktense, look at how bold the color is. It's crazy saturation. The amount of color is just nuts. So like, I'm gonna go over, this is over the other one where, see how bold it is? So this is Inktense and this is the crayon. This is Inktense, this is the crayon. It makes a huge difference, and I think that's why I'm not seeing a lot of like professional artists add this product to their supplies. I really think that it's just because, I mean, I'm still going. This is just that little bit of pencil, and I'm literally, I can color and color and color, and I've just got my brushes loaded with color. So let's rinse it out, and then let's go over those two lines that I said, just so that you can see what it's like if you drew with it. Look at, still so much color comes off of just that little bit, and you could do a lot with that, you know, so you can get texture. So that's how their Derwent is. So see the difference and how bold it is, and then as they dry, you can kind of see the thing. I just find that the Derwent really is the pencil for me, and if I go over it, if you notice, because it's Inktense, it's not lifting where the other one lifted right out, right? It went to, this went to like almost nothing. Right here, I'm going over it again, and I'm able to get some lift of the color, but it's ink. It is pretty staining. It's pretty in there. Now I'm going to go over the pencil or the crayon, and I can see the wax buildup from the crayon on here. So that means there's going to be a minimum amount of layers, and they're not going to play well together, which I'm not too thrilled with. In any case, I do love them, you know, I mean, like the smoothness is nice, but there is a wax buildup. I can see a shine. As far as would I use them, no, I would reach for my watercolors, and I would definitely reach for my Inktense pencils over the crayons. And again, as far as like price, if you were gonna make a choice and this was gonna be your purchase, I would, for the price of buying this set, you only get 40 colors, and this is the range of colors. If you notice, another thing I didn't like is that there's not a lot of blues, and I feel like I could deal with less greens because yellow and blue make green, and that's pretty much how I make green. If I had a wider range of blues, and in order to get a wider range of blues, like there's only three real blues here, then you have to buy a $200 box of these crayons in order to get more blues. So it's great and I love it, but I don't love the colors for me. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 greenish shades and like 2 or 3 blue shades, and there's a teal. Could have been a lot more blues. I feel like people use blue more than green, and you can make green, like I said, just by layering. Do they blend to layer? They do okay. I actually did something, where is that? Really quick to try and blend, and I did not like, I didn't even want to show this to you because it just is not, it doesn't make me happy. It's not good. Where is it? Okay, yeah, look what happened. So this is trying to use the crayons, and you can see I couldn't get rid of the crayon marks no matter how much I rubbed. Then it went to like nothing, and it dries so light. It's crazy. Let's just fix it. I just want to show you what you can do with Inktense pencils, and this is a really great example of why Inktense is so much better. So we're going to take an Inktense pencil, and this was the crayons. So sorry crayons, you're not doing it. So we're just going to add just a little bit. I'm going to show you guys how quick this is. I'm just going to add a little bit of the Inktense color here. And we're going to add a little bit into the water. Just really fast. And the thing is the wax on this, oh my God, there's so much wax that I almost can't even fix it. Like, it's hard. Like, my poor Inktense pencils are like, no, I don't want to be here. I know this sounds like a total like slam on this company. It's really not. If this was something that you really loved and you really wanted to use, I totally say go for it. However, I'm just pointing out, the big differences in it, you know, and how they could improve. Because if they're going to charge this much money to people for these, I want people to know there are other really good products out there that you can get that, you know, that are more cost effective and definitely a better use of your time in art. Okay, so this is a very textured paper. So this side I did with some Inktense pencil. We're going to add some water to it, and you're going to see how much different that quick thing makes. So this is where I added the pencil. This is where the crayons just disappeared, right? So let's go ahead and start at the top. And I'm just adding water. Can you see how vibrant this is? So it's literally fixing just with a little bit of water. I'm painting upside down. This is ridiculous. This is so funny. And now I have this beautiful like ink look. We're going into the dark so we could fix that dimension on the water. So you see how like light they dried, right? I mean, it almost feels like it's impossible to get a real quality look even in something that should be so simple. This is so simple. I mean, this is just a simple gradients, like the backwash of a oceanscape or something, you know? You should just be able to just do this and bam, just get it real quick. And if you wanted to work with pencils, you know, now I can still see the buildup of the wax. You can see the buildup of the wax and how that really like affects it. But this side, you see like you're starting to get the gradation and the effects of the Inktense pencil, right? But I can't get rid of those pencil marks from the crayons because the crayons are just leaving this wax buildup there like a crayon, you know? So like to me, you know, just use colored crayons. And this is how the colors just totally disappeared. I had to actually add something to this side. I wasn't even going to show that to you guys because it's just, I wasn't disgusted, but I was so upset with the way it looked. I couldn't even get a decent gradient, you know? So we'll do something else. Yeah, so I am sorry. As far as comparison of these, they are what they are. They're great, they're beautiful, they've done a great job creating a crayon that is probably going to be so much fun for people who love to use waxy crayons, but it is not as good as a oil pastel. It is not as good as a water pastel. I feel like I could get better out of a cheaper version of water pastels if I wanted to paint with something like that. But that being said, I did create this with this kit, and it was like a lot of layers, which took a very, very long time. The white had to be the Winsor & Newton white ink in order to get the white to show up. I was able to get some gradation, some transparency. There's a lot of wax buildup on here though, and you never really get past that as far as the clarity of being able to get your piece to really stand out. There's always going to be something that looks a little bit like not as professional as it should. So my overall review is this is great. It's probably the most expensive beginner crayon that I've ever seen. It's definitely adult crayons. Don't get them for kids because it's totally a waste of $100 to $200. That's an awful lot when it comes to art supplies to spend on something like this. I would definitely, literally, you can get these for $20. These are like the Derwent Watercolor tin, which is amazing, and it comes with some beautiful, beautiful colors. It also comes in the Inktense version, which is the one I like to use. And if you really want to invest money in your professional, get the box. This is the deal. I love this thing. This is just amazing, and they were so, so kind to send me this because I use it all the time. I literally use it on everything, and I know I will have this box forever. I mean, like, literally, it will always be my favorite box of pencils. As far as other companies, yeah, I'm totally going to do some stuff with some other ones and try them out and compare them until I literally go through like every really nice line and see if there's anything ever that is going to compare to the way I feel about these pencils, because I just love them. So that is my initial review of the Aquarelle Neon Color 2, all right, versus the pencils. Now let's move on to a quick unboxing of these two. So one, I got this starter kit from Sennellier. It's a French company that makes watercolors. They're fine artist grade watercolors from France. These are amazing. I did get to swatch them, and there was only a few colors in there. Where's my swatch? Let me see if I can find my swatch thing for you guys to look at. Hang on. I will get it for you so you can see how pretty the colors are. Here it is. Okay, so the colors are here. Yeah, they're so pretty. These are the Sennellier colors. They are so beautiful. So in the kit, there's only a few colors, right? In this kit, there's I want to say there's a Chinese orange, there's a yellow, there's a bright red, there's a blue and a Payne's gray, and a brown. So those are the basic colors that come in it. The Quin Gold I bought myself. That is not in that kit. But you can see you can make a really, really nice range of colors, and they're smooth, they're just beautiful. I really, really like them. I also got some additional Sennellier colors to add like more of a cool palette, and I did this side to kind of like, you know, balance out the amount of colors. But I think they're amazing, they're awesome. So what I'm probably gonna do is just keep my favorites in this little tin that came with, and that way I kind of know where all my favorite tubes are. Now this came today. Let's open it, because I have been so like hearing so much about Schminke. Schminke watercolors are from Germany. I hear they are the finest colors. I don't know that any of these are really better than the other as far as fine artist grade products. I do love Mission Gold because they're so bright and the colors are so vibrant. They're made in Korea. They have pure pigments, they're light fast, they're beautiful. I do love Sennellier, those are gorgeous too, they were amazing. I heard so many things about Schminke, like literally people were like, you have to try Schminke watercolor. And I'm like, I've never actually tried Schminke. So I do use Winsor & Newton too. That was like the first one that got sent to me that I really do love, but I've kind of like moved on from it and I haven't gone back to it. I probably will, but I have so much paint at this point that I don't know. Schminke, this looks interesting, right? So I have people that actually collect these crazy tins, and I guess they come out with different tins for different holidays. This is kind of interesting because it does allow you to hold it. I love it. It's neat. And there's something, I don't know, kind of like creative and something very romantic about having an artist tin, right? I don't know what it is. I can see where they bid on these vintage Schminke tins, which is kind of funny to me. But I guess you know, if you're into that, right? Everybody collects something. Is that not true? All right, so this is the set that comes with how many? This has got, does it say? It looks like there's 24. This is, or maybe 18. Is there 18? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so there's 18. And I actually got some little clear half or full pans to put in the side here to start holding them. And I was kind of thinking that if I take these out, because it is kind of fun to like put them like into the pans and have them just accessible, because I was kind of thinking for me, I would probably use this palette when I was just like sitting on the couch and I wanted to use it in my sketchbook, or if I wanted to paint something like one of the professional portraits or something. But it would require me to find a way to get this out of there, and I don't think this just snaps out. We're gonna have to look at that later, because like these half pans, I don't know, I might be able to get them to set in. I could probably do it, but like, let's just face it, it's going to be a little bit of a mess with this thing in here because you won't be able to clean it. Maybe I could come up with something like maybe a sponge and like cut holes into the sponge and set the sponges in there, and that way I can actually make a watercolor palette out of that. I wish they didn't have this in there. I don't think that's necessary, but first impression, this looks pretty cool. It does. I have to say, it's a good weight. It's a nice size. It opens up and it's got this little thing to hold it. Pretty cool. I don't know. I literally only have like one. I'm going to swatch this another time, but I literally only have like one thing of swatches for Schminke. And this was a starter set that was sent to me. I can't remember when. And if you look, the colors are pretty sensational. I don't know that any of these colors are in here. I'd have to look. But this is a beautiful, beautiful color, which I also have in Mission Gold. And this is a gorgeous yellow, which actually is exactly like the Mission Gold one. So to me, these are very, very bright, like Mission Gold. Mission Gold, of course, is a lot cheaper to use, even though it's artist grade watercolor, depending on where. Schminke is a lot more expensive and harder to get a hold of, but I did notice that I think these are smoother and they move more. So for a traditional watercolor artist, Mission Gold is like a lot more controlled watercolor. It doesn't really move. Schminke, I think I remember, it moves fabulously, and it's got a really, really nice way of blending. And you can see all of these are basically like this yellow and this painted over each other makes this color. Yellow and magenta makes this color. So like that's how this works. You know, like I just literally put some yellow down and put some red over it, and it generates these beautiful colors. They blend really, really nicely, I have to say. They do. And if you look back at the Sennellier, it blends beautifully too, but it's much, much different. The colors don't look as clear. They kind of look like a French paint. You know, like if I were a French painter, I kind of feel like there's a little more drama. They're not as clean. Like the palette isn't as clean, right? The blue is really nice, but all the watercolors she makes are amazing. Thank you so much. Hi. Yeah, like look at the granulation in the Sennellier. So like this blue and this blue, you see how it's like you can get a really moody, dark color right out of the box, but it also has some granulation. And then if you look at the blue by Schminke that I originally swatched, it's really bold, right? It's a very, very bold blue, and it doesn't have as much, it doesn't break up as much. So it's going to be interesting to try these today, and I think maybe at some point I'll include them in my stories, or maybe I'll record a video of my thoughts for YouTube. I don't know. Let's see, I'm not really like a swatch kind of video type of person. I just wanted to give you my initial impressions of these and show you what came. So anyway, this is really cool. There's also, there was also a little watercolor book, which is kind of cute. So what I was thinking is right now I'm doing, this is like a hot press paper. Right now I'm doing like a study on eyes, as you guys can tell. I'm doing eyes, then lips, then faces, and I'm going to do a bunch of like little drawings before I go on to another really big portrait, because I've got like 4 portraits that I'm working on right now, so literally they're in the background and doing them, but I can't show them to you guys because they're customers and I don't really know that they want to see the process. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm not sure. So I usually don't like share the portraits that people have ordered unless they really want to. I wait for them to share them, and then if they share them, then I will share them. But you guys are going to see what's going to go on in this sketchbook. So this sketchbook is basically this next weekend, or the rest of this weekend, tonight and all during the week. I will be doing studies on eyes and lips and faces in preparation for some new watercolor pieces that I'm going to be working on this next week. And then after that, or maybe during, I don't know, because I kind of go with the flow. I'm not really like, you know, I'm not really sticking to, this is my fun time. I'm not like sticking to a schedule here with the painting. Your paintings have been so beautiful. Thank you so much. You're so amazing. I'm like squealing. How you use your colors, they look dart on the plate, but you get them so nice. Oh, thank you. I'm working at it. As you can tell, I mean, like, I really do practice, but I love it. Like, I'm gonna sit on the couch like right now and take a little break before I rearrange the playlist, and I'm gonna paint some eyes and like just play with these new colors and just see what I can come up with and see how they work, because this is gonna be fun. This is like fun. It's Sunday. Forget about groceries. We don't need food. We're just gonna sit here and paint. I was gonna go get food, but nah, not when I get this in the mail. See what they did to me? This is wrong. It's such a shame. I really was like looking forward to loving these and keeping them. So kind of bummed the crayons weren't like my style, but again, somebody's gonna love them, right? People are gonna love them. I still love Derwent, and I cannot wait to try Schminke. And yeah, so that's what I'm up to today. What are you guys up to today? I will see you later. Time to go make a cup of coffee so I don't fall asleep, because there will be no napping today. I thought there would be, but now that this is here, it's like nap or watercolor. Nap or watercolor. Rest is not gonna happen. No, I was going to. It's not gonna happen. No.